Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're going to be diving into neural networks today.
Ooh, fun.
You know all those things that are like
Right.
supposed to be changing everything?
Yeah.
We've got a source here. It's called OFO Neural Network Humpo.
Wow.
And it's from a Chinese search engine website,
Okay.
a cutting-edge search engine.
Very cool.
So we're getting like a crash course on neural networks from a totally different perspective today.
Yeah.
So
Looking forward to it.
get ready to explore what neural networks really are, like not just the buzzword,
Yeah.
how they actually work and what makes them so powerful and,
Right.
why everyone's making such a fuss about them.
Well, and it's interesting you say that they're supposed to be changing everything,
Right.
because in many ways they already are.
Yeah.
We may not always realize it,
Yeah.
but neural networks are powering some pretty incredible technologies
Uh-huh.
that are already having a major impact on our lives.
Okay, so maybe not just hype then.
Right.
But for those of us who haven't quite wrapped our heads around it,
Yeah.
what exactly a neural network?
So think of it this way.
Okay.
Artificial neural networks, or ANNs,
Okay.
are basically algorithms that are inspired by the way the human brain works.
Okay.
They're designed to learn from data just like we do
Okay.
and use that learning to make predictions or decisions.
So it's like a brain made of math.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
It is pretty wild.
But how does it actually work? I mean, how can an algorithm be like a brain?
Good question.
Yeah.
So imagine a network of interconnected points,
Okay.
kind of like a giant web.
Okay.
Each point is a neuron,
Uh-huh.
and it's connected to a bunch of other neurons.
Okay.
These connections have different strengths,
Mm-hmm.
which are represented by weights.
Okay.
And each neuron also has a bias,
Okay.
which is like a baseline level of activation.
Okay, so I'm picturing this web of neurons.
Yeah.
But how does it actually learn? Does it like read textbooks or something?
Not quite.
Okay.
The learning happens through a process called training.
Okay.
We feed the network tons of data,
Mm-hmm.
and it uses that data to adjust those weights and biases I mentioned.
So it's like fine-tuning a giant set of dials to
Yeah.
get the right output.
You got it.
Okay.
The more data the network sees,
Mm-hmm.
the better it gets at adjusting those dials.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you can start making pretty accurate predictions or decisions
Okay.
based on new data it's never seen before.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But our source mentions a ton of different applications for neural networks.
Right.
It seems like they're being used for everything these days.
That's because they're incredibly versatile.
Okay.
Let's take computer vision as an example.
Okay.
Neural networks are now being used to power everything from facial recognition software
Wow.
to self-driving cars.
Wait, self-driving cars rely on neural networks. How does that even work?
So think about all the things a human driver has to do.
Okay.
Recognize objects,
Mm-hmm.
track their movements,
Okay.
predict their future paths,
Right.
and make split-second decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Neural networks can be trained to do all of that,
Really?
using cameras and sensors to perceive the environment,
Okay.
just like our eyes and ears do.
That's mind-blowing.
It is pretty amazing.
So neural networks are basically giving cars a set of eyes
Right?
and a brain to process all that visual information.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's not just about seeing.
Okay.
Neural networks are also revolutionizing the way we interact with language.
Okay.
Take machine translation, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Google Translate has gotten so much better in recent years.
for sure.
It's almost like magic.
It seems like magic sometimes.
Yeah.
There's definitely some complex math involved.
Right.
But it's thanks to neural networks that we can now translate languages with remarkable accuracy.
Wow.
They can even be used to generate realistic sounding speech,
Okay.
like you hear with virtual assistants like Siri or Alexa.
It's incredible to think about all the ways neural networks are already impacting our lives.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I'm still a bit curious about how these networks actually learn.
Sure.
We keep talking about training and adjusting weights and biases.
Right.
But can you give us a more concrete example
Sure.
of how that happens?
Let's say we want to build a neural network
Okay.
that can recognize handwritten digits,
Mm-hmm.
like the ones you see on a check.
Okay.
We would start by feeding the network thousands of images
Okay.
of handwritten digits,
Mm-hmm.
each labeled with the correct digit.
So it's like showing a child flashcards to teach them their numbers.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
The network analyzes each image,
Mm-hmm.
trying to extract features that distinguish a 1 from a 7
Okay.
or a 3 from an 8.
Right.
As it sees more examples,
Yeah.
it starts to learn which features are most important
Okay.
for making accurate predictions.
And how does it know it's making the right prediction?
During training, we compare the network's output to the correct label.
Okay.
for each image. If the network gets it wrong,
Yeah.
it adjusts its weights and biases slightly
Okay.
to try to get closer to the right answer
Mm-hmm.
the next time it sees a similar image.
So it's a process of trial and error
Yeah.
with the network constantly fine-tuning its internal model
Right,
based on feedback.
precisely.
Okay.
And this process is repeated millions of times,
Yeah.
with the network gradually improving its accuracy
Okay.
as it sees more data.
Uh-huh.
It's like practicing a skill.
Yeah.
The more you practice, the better you get.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, all this talk about algorithms and data makes it sound like neural networks are purely mathematical entities.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any room for creativity or intuition in this field?
Absolutely.
Really?
Designing and training neural networks
Yeah.
is not just a matter of blindly applying formulas. It often requires a deep understanding of the problem you're trying to solve,
Mm-hmm.
a bit of intuition to choose the right network architecture and parameters,
Okay.
and a creative spark to come up with innovative solutions.
So it's not just about the math.
Right.
It's also about the art of knowing how to apply those tools effectively.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And as these technologies continue to evolve, the role of human expertise and ingenuity will become even more critical.
I'm sensing a but coming.
Aha. There's a fascinating history behind neural networks
Okay.
that I think you'll find interesting.
Okay.
Their development wasn't a straight path to success.
Huh.
There were periods of intense excitement,
Okay.
followed by periods of disillusionment and setbacks.
Oh, so it wasn't all smooth sailing then. Tell me more.
It all started way back in the 1950s
Okay.
with the invention of the perceptron, which was basically the first artificial neuron.
Okay.
It generated a lot of buzz,
Yeah.
but it quickly became apparent that perceptrons had limitations.
Okay.
They couldn't solve certain types of problems,
Uh-huh.
which led to a period of reduced funding and research in the field,
Oh, wow.
often called the AI winter.
Wait, so the whole field of neural networks almost froze over?
In a way, yeah.
Wow. What happened next?
Well, researchers kept plugging away.
Okay.
And in the 1980s,
Mm-hmm.
a new algorithm called backpropagation was developed.
Okay.
This was a game changer
Okay.
because it allowed for the training of much more complex neural networks,
Okay.
paving the way for the breakthroughs we're seeing today.
So backpropagation was like a spring thaw,
Yeah,
melting away the AI winter and allowing the field to blossom again.
that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And since then, the field has been on an upward trajectory,
Okay.
with new architectures, algorithms, and applications emerging all the time.
It's amazing to think about how far neural networks have come.
Yeah,
But I have a feeling we've only just scratched the surface.
I think that's right.
What are some of the emerging trends and future possibilities in this field? What should we be looking out for?
Well, one exciting trend is the development of even deeper and more complex neural networks,
Okay.
capable of tackling increasingly sophisticated tasks.
So we're talking about networks with even more layers and neurons.
Exactly.
Wow.
Pushing the limits of computational power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And with the increasing availability of computing power and massive data sets,
Uh-huh.
training these massive networks is becoming more and more feasible.
Wow.
But the real excitement lies in the potential of these deeper networks
Okay.
to unlock new
What
capabilities.
kind of capabilities are we talking about? What can these supercharged networks do that
Yes.
current networks can't?
Well, imagine AI systems that can understand and generate human language
Okay.
with nuance and creativity,
Mm-hmm.
systems that can reason and solve problems
Yeah.
in ways that rival human experts,
Yeah.
or systems that can design and create new technologies that we can't even imagine today.
That's both thrilling and a bit terrifying, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a powerful technology
Yeah.
with a lot of potential.
It sounds like we're entering uncharted territory
Mhm.
with both incredible opportunities and potential risks.
You're right. The implications of this technology are profound.
Yeah.
And it's crucial that we approach its development and deployment
Right.
with both enthusiasm and caution.
Okay, so we've got these increasingly powerful networks, but how do we actually harness that power? What are some of the practical applications that are emerging from this research?
The applications are truly mind-boggling.
Okay.
In healthcare, we're seeing neural networks being used to diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately,
Wow.
personalized treatment plans, and even develop new drugs.
So they're literally saving lives and improving patient outcomes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And in fields like finance and economics,
Okay.
neural networks are being used to predict market trends, assess risk,
Okay.
and automate complex financial transactions.
So they're helping us make smarter decisions.
Yeah.
And navigate the complexities of the global economy.
Precisely.
Wow.
And in the realm of transportation, we're seeing the rise of self-driving cars, trucks, and even drones.
Really?
All powered by neural networks that can perceive and navigate their surroundings.
Wow.
With incredible precision.
It sounds like neural networks are poised to transform virtually every aspect of our lives.
It really does.
From the way we work and communicate to the way we travel and receive healthcare.
It's an exciting time to be witnessing the unfolding of this technological revolution.
It is.
But as with any powerful technology,
Yeah.
it's crucial that we approach its development and deployment with both a sense of wonder and a healthy dose of responsibility.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the potential benefits of neural networks.
Right.
But what about the potential downsides? Are there any risks or challenges that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, of course, no technology is without its risks.
Right.
One concern that's often raised is the potential for job displacement.
Okay.
As AI systems become more capable of performing tasks that were previously done by humans.
Yeah. That's something we hear a lot about these days. Are we headed towards a future where robots take over all the jobs, leaving humans with nothing to do?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Okay.
While some jobs are certainly at risk of automation, history has shown that technological advancements often create new jobs and industries that we couldn't have anticipated.
So it's not necessarily a zero-sum game with robots replacing humans.
Exactly. The key is to adapt and evolve, to focus on developing skills and expertise that complement AI systems rather than compete with them.
So instead of fearing the rise of the machines, we should be thinking about how we can collaborate with them.
Exactly.
Leveraging their strengths alongside our own.
Precisely.
I like that vision. It's a reminder that the future is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something we're actively shaping through our choices and actions.
For sure.
But with all this talk about job displacement and the potential for AI to surpass human intelligence, it's easy to get caught up in the anxieties and uncertainties.
Right.
Were there any practical steps we can take?
Yeah, that's a great question.
As individuals and as a society to ensure that this technology is used for good and that its benefits are shared widely?
That's a crucial question.
Yeah.
And one that we need to be actively discussing and debating as a society.
So where do we even begin? What are some concrete actions we can take?
Yeah, so one important step is to invest in education and training programs that equip people with the skills and knowledge they need to thrive in an AI-powered world.
So we need to make sure everyone has the opportunity to learn about AI.
Yes.
Not just the engineers and computer scientists.
Exactly. AI literacy should be a fundamental part of education. It's like reading, writing, and math.
Right.
We need to empower people to understand how these technologies work, how to use them effectively, and how to critically evaluate their impact on society.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What about the ethical considerations we've been discussing?
Right.
How can we ensure that AI systems are developed and deployed in a way that's fair, unbiased, and respects human rights?
That's another crucial area where we need to be proactive.
So what are some concrete steps we can take to address these ethical concerns?
Well, one important step is to promote diversity and inclusion in the field of AI itself.
So making sure that the people who are designing and building these systems represent a wide range of backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences.
Exactly. A more diverse AI workforce will be more likely to identify and mitigate potential biases in algorithms and data sets.
Right.
We also need to establish clear ethical guidelines and regulations for the development and use of AI, ensuring that these technologies are used for good and don't infringe on human rights.
It sounds like we need a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Involving education regulation and a commitment to ethical principles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not something that any one group or institution can do alone.
Right.
It requires collaboration between governments, industry, academia, and civil society.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of neural networks.
It has been a very interesting conversation.
We've covered so much ground, from the technical details of how these networks learn to the ethical considerations we need to address.
For sure.
But I feel like we've only just begun to explore the vast possibilities and challenges
I agree.
of this transformative technology.
Absolutely.
You're right. The journey has just begun.
Yeah.
And the future of neural networks is not predetermined.
Right.
It's a future that we're actively shaping through our choices, our actions, and our collective vision for the world we want to create.
That's a powerful message.
It is a powerful message to leave our listeners with.
Yeah.
So for those who are eager to learn more, where should they go? What resources are available to help them explore the world of neural networks and get involved in shaping its future?
Well, the good news is that there are more resources available than ever before, from online courses and tutorials to open source software libraries and communities.
So there's no excuse for not diving in and exploring this fascinating field.
Exactly.
I'm feeling inspired. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
Sure.
Any final thoughts or insights?
I think the most important takeaway is that neural networks are not just some abstract technological concept.
Right.
They're tools that have the potential to address some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity, from climate change and disease to poverty and inequality.
So it's not just about building smarter machines.
Right.
It's about using those machines to build a better world.
Exactly.
Wow, I like that.
And that's a vision that I think we can all get behind.
On that note, I think it's time to wrap up this incredible deep dive.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And a huge thanks to our expert for sharing their insights and expertise.
My pleasure.
We hope you've enjoyed the journey and that you're feeling as inspired as we are to explore the world of neural networks and its potential to shape the future.
Absolutely.
All right, we're back. And my neural pathways are definitely firing.
Mine too.
But before the break, we were talking about how neural networks learn.
Right.
And how this whole AI winter thing almost stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah.
It's wild to think how close we came to missing out on all this incredible technology.
It really is a testament to the persistence of those researchers.
Yeah.
Who kept believing in the potential of neural networks, even when the funding dried up and the mainstream interest waned.
So they were kind of like the rebels of the tech world.
Yeah.
Toiling away in obscurity until their moment came.
You could say that.
Wow.
And their dedication paved the way for the remarkable advancements we're seeing today.
That's amazing.
But let's shift gears for a moment.
Okay.
And talk about the different types of neural networks that have emerged over the years.
Yeah, we've mentioned a few, like perceptrons and convolutional neural networks. But I have to admit, I'm still a bit fuzzy on the distinctions between them.
Sure.
Can you break it down for us?
Of course.
Okay.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Just as there are different types of tools for different jobs, there are different types of neural networks designed to handle different types of data and tasks.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are some of the main categories? What are they good at?
Well, the most basic type is called the feed-forward neural network. In these networks, data flows in one direction. From the input layer through the hidden layers to the output layer. They're kind of like assembly lines. Processing information step by step.
So it's a one-way street for data, no backtracking or looping around.
Exactly.
Okay.
Feed-forward networks are great for tasks like image classification or predicting stock prices, where the order of the input data doesn't really matter.
Okay, so what about those convolutional neural networks we keep hearing about? What makes them special?
Convolutional neural networks, or CNNs, are specifically designed to process grid-like data, like images or videos. They use a special type of layer called a convolutional layer that acts like a filter, scanning the input data for patterns and features.
So they're like the visual detectives of the neural network world, looking for clues in the pixels.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
CNNs have revolutionized computer vision, powering everything from facial recognition to object detection to medical image analysis.
Wow. So they're literally helping doctors see things they might have missed otherwise.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What about those recurrent neural networks? I remember we mentioned them in the context of language processing.
Right. Recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, are designed to handle sequential data, where the order of the elements matters. Think of text or speech,
Right.
where words and sentences follow a specific sequence.
So unlike feed-forward networks,
Yes.
RNNs have a kind of memory, allowing them to take into account the context of previous inputs.
You got it.
Wow, that's cool.
RNNs have loops and feedback mechanisms
Okay.
that allow them to remember information
Okay.
from earlier in the sequence,
Uh-huh.
which is crucial for tasks like language translation,
Right.
speech recognition,
Okay.
and even music generation.
Yeah. It's amazing how researchers have developed such a diverse array of neural network architectures,
Yeah.
each tailored to specific types of data and tasks.
It's a testament to the creativity and problem-solving spirit
Yeah,
that drives the field of artificial intelligence.
it really is.
And the best part is,
Yeah.
this is just the beginning.
What? There's more.
Researchers are constantly pushing the boundaries,
Okay.
developing new architectures and algorithms that are capable of solving even more complex and challenging problems.
Speaking of pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
We were talking about the future of neural networks before the break.
Right.
You mentioned that one exciting trend is the development of even deeper and more complex networks.
Yes.
What are the implications of this trend? Are we talking about AI systems that rival the human brain in complexity?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
While current neural networks are still far from matching the complexity of the human brain,
Okay.
the trend towards deeper and more sophisticated architectures is definitely blurring the lines.
So we're talking about networks with hundreds or even thousands of layers,
Yeah.
processing information at a level of detail that's hard to even comprehend.
Exactly. And with the increasing availability of computing power and massive data sets,
Right.
training these massive networks is becoming more and more feasible.
Okay.
But the real excitement lies in the potential of these deeper networks to unlock new capabilities.
What kind of capabilities are we talking about? What can these supercharged networks do that current networks can't?
Well, imagine AI systems that can understand and generate human language
Okay.
with nuance and creativity.
Okay.
Systems that can reason and solve problems
Yeah.
in ways that rival human experts.
Wow.
Or systems that can design and create new technologies
Yeah.
that we can't even imagine today.
That's both thrilling and a bit terrifying, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a powerful technology.
It is a
lots
lot.
of potential.
It sounds like we're entering uncharted territory with both incredible opportunities and potential risks.
You're right. The implications of this technology are profound.
Yeah.
And it's crucial that we approach its development and deployment
Right.
with both enthusiasm and caution.
Okay, so we've got these increasingly powerful networks.
Yeah.
But how do we actually harness that power? What are some of the practical applications that are emerging from this research?
The applications are truly mind-boggling.
Yeah.
In healthcare, we're seeing neural networks being used to diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately,
Wow.
personalize treatment plans,
Okay.
and even develop new drugs.
So they're literally saving lives and improving patient outcomes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And in fields like finance and economics,
Okay.
neural networks are being used to predict market trends,
Uh-huh.
assess risk,
Right.
automate complex financial transactions.
So they're helping us make smarter decisions
Yeah.
and navigate the complexities of the global economy.
Precise. And in the realm of transportation, we're seeing the rise of self-driving cars,
Uh-huh.
trucks,
Okay.
and even drones.
Really?
All powered by neural networks that can perceive and navigate their surroundings with incredible precision.
It sounds like neural networks are poised to transform virtually every aspect of our lives,
It really does.
from the way we work and communicate to the way we travel and receive healthcare.
It's an exciting time to be witnessing the unfolding of this technological revolution.
It is.
But as with any powerful technology,
Yeah.
it's crucial that we approach its development and deployment with both a sense of wonder and a healthy dose of responsibility.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the potential benefits of neural networks.
Right.
But what about the potential downsides?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any risks or challenges that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, of course, no technology is without its risks.
Right.
One concern that's often raised
Yeah.
is the potential for job displacement
Okay.
as AI systems become more capable of performing tasks
Right.
that were previously done by humans.
Yeah, that's something we hear a lot about these days. Are we headed towards a future where robots take over all the jobs,
Right.
leaving humans with nothing to do?
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Okay.
While some jobs are certainly at risk of automation, history has shown that technological advancements often create new jobs in industries that we couldn't have anticipated.
So it's not necessarily a zero-sum game with robots replacing humans.
Exactly.
Okay.
The key is to adapt and evolve, to focus on developing skills and expertise that complement AI systems, rather than compete with them.
So instead of fearing the rise of the machines, we should be thinking about how we can collaborate with them.
Exactly.
Leveraging their strengths alongside our own.
Precisely.
I like that vision.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the future is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something we're actively shaping through our choices and actions. But with all this talk about job displacement and the potential for AI to surpass human intelligence, it's easy to get caught up in these anxieties and uncertainties.
Right.
Are there any practical steps we can take?
Yeah, that's a great question.
As individuals and as a society to ensure that this technology is used for good and that its benefits are shared widely?
That's a crucial question.
Yeah.
And one that we need to be actively discussing and debating as a society.
Welcome back to the show. It's been an amazing deep dive into neural networks, hasn't it?
It really has.
I mean, it's incredible to think about how much these powerful algorithms are already impacting our lives.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
We've only just begun to see what they can do.
I think that's right.
You know, before the break, we were talking about the potential of neural networks to solve some of the world's biggest challenges, you know?
Big picture stuff.
But I'm curious, what about the more everyday stuff?
Yeah.
How are neural networks impacting the things we do on a daily basis?
Well, think about the apps and services you use every day.
Okay.
Neural networks are powering everything from the personalized recommendations you see on Netflix and Spotify.
Oh, wow.
To the spam filters that keep your inbox clean.
I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
So those algorithms were working behind the scenes.
Right.
Learning my preferences and tailoring my digital experience.
Exactly.
That's both cool and a little creepy at the same time.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
But it does make those services a lot more useful.
Right, it does.
Are there any other examples of how neural networks are kind of sneaking into our daily lives?
Well, how about the voice assistants we were talking about earlier?
Right.
Like Siri and Alexa.
Yeah.
They rely heavily on neural networks for speech recognition and natural language processing.
It's pretty amazing how well they can understand us these days. Even with all the different accents and ways of speaking, it's really impressive.
It's a testament to the power of these algorithms to learn and adapt to complex patterns.
So neural networks are basically becoming invisible helpers, making our lives easier and more convenient.
Yes.
In countless ways.
It seems like it.
But let's be honest.
Okay.
Not everyone is super comfortable with the idea of algorithms having so much influence over our lives.
Yeah, I understand that.
What would you say to those who are feeling a bit apprehensive about the rise of AI?
I understand those concerns.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that technology is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
So it's not the technology itself that's inherently good or bad.
Exactly.
How we choose to use it.
Exactly. It's up to us as a society to guide the development and deployment of these technologies in a way that aligns with our values.
Okay.
And serves the common good.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But how do we actually do that?
Right. I mean, that's a big question.
It's not like we can just tell these algorithms what to do, right?
Well, it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
One important step is to ensure that the people who are designing and building these systems represent a diverse range of perspectives and backgrounds.
So making sure that the AI workforce reflects the diversity of the society it's intended to serve.
Exactly.
Okay.
A more diverse AI community will be more likely to identify and mitigate potential biases and ethical concerns.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the role of regulation?
Right.
Do we need laws and guidelines to govern the development and use of AI?
That's a complex issue.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer.
Okay.
But I think it's important to have a public conversation about these issues and to explore different approaches to regulation.
So it's not about stifling innovation, but about finding ways to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly.
Precisely.
Okay.
We need to strike a balance between fostering innovation and protecting the public interest.
This has been an incredibly thought-provoking conversation.
It has.
I feel like I've learned so much about neural networks.
Good.
Not just the technical stuff, but also the broader social and ethical implications.
Yeah, it's important to think about all of that.
As we wrap up this deep dive, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners? Any final words of wisdom?
I would encourage everyone to stay curious.
Okay.
And to keep learning about these transformative technologies.
Yeah.
The field of AI is constantly evolving, and there are endless opportunities to get involved.
Okay.
And to shape the future.
That's a great message to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us today.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with neural networks.
It's an exciting time.
It really is.
To be working in this field.
This is just the beginning of an incredible journey.
For sure.
And we can't wait to see where it leads.
Me neither.